My best friend told me to buy an Instapot. So I decided to see if I could take my tomato sauce and make it work in the Instapot. I make this really killer tomato sauce that makes you not want to buy a jarred tomato sauce. I kind of do things just a little bit different. So here's what you're going to need for this recipe. So this recipe is honestly to your taste. This is to my taste. Feel free to change it. You're going to use olive oil. In this bowl I have 2 onions, 2 carrots, and 2 ribs of celery, and 2 big tablespoons of garlic, minced garlic. Here I have a teaspoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of basil, 2 teaspoons of oregano, teaspoon of thyme, half a teaspoon of chili powders, a teaspoon and a half of pepper, a teaspoon and a half of garlic powder, and then 2 tablespoons of salt. I have 3 cans of just diced tomatoes, and at this point, if you have any leftover tomatoes that are about to go bad, you can just throw those in as well. Okay, so I've pushed saute and I've turned it to high on my Instapot. I've got about 2.5, maybe 3 tablespoons of olive oil. This is really a no measure recipe. It kind of is, but it's kind of not. So I'm just gonna put all the vegetables down in here. These are gonna cook off and brown a little bit and soften, and that's what I want. Now, I cut them small, and I do the same when I cook this on the stove. I just heat the pot, I put this, the olive oil in, and then I put the same vegetables in. So this is softening. We can let it brown. Again, it's a matter of taste. This is what I like to do. So I like to dump in all the spices at this point. I was always taught that if the spices hit the heat, they become aromatic. And if you could smell this right now, you'd be like, oh my God. So now to this, I'm adding the jars of tomato sauce. Or tomatoes, sorry, not sauce. Now the first one I really like to stir up really, really well. Can't get that on a real live cooking show. You only get that here. All right, so we're all together now. Yep. We're still on this saute function just for another minute. So I'm gonna add these tomatoes. These tomatoes are left over, they are kind of going squidgy. So now I've got this all in. I've got everything incorporated. Okay, I closed this. My husband had to show me, my husband, who doesn't cook, had to show me how to put the lid on it. Right now we're on venting. We're gonna just turn it to sealing, okay? We're gonna click keep warm or cancel because that's what you have to do. I'm gonna use the manual button and it's set for 7 minutes. And that's what I used. So I'm just gonna leave this. It's gonna click to on. So we'll probably come back in about 7 minutes once the pressure has risen and finished, and I'll show you what we got because there's still a couple more steps to go. Red dot in the top means this is pressurized. So I want to vent this. I've left this just for a minute so Tim could come in and film it. You don't want to touch this. This is super hot. So what I do is I usually take and I throw a towel over it. Now this isn't done. Look how nice that looks. I'm just going to take my immersion blender and puree it a little bit just so we don't have a chunky sauce. You can leave it thick if you want to serve it like that, but that's not what I want. This is just granulated white sugar. I'm going to put about 3 to 4 good teaspoons in. Again, it depends on how sweet you like your sauce. Just like that. I'm gonna put another couple of tablespoons of olive oil. I'm gonna give it a little stir. Look at how nice that looks. All right, I am gonna put this back on for about another 2 minutes. Set it to manual. We're only gonna set this to 2 this time, and it's gonna go. Have a quick peek. This is perfect. This sauce, it's thickened up, you can see. So it's the consistency that I want. The only thing I have left to do at this point is to add some parsley. Now, if this wasn't a pandemic, we'd have fresh, but we just have dried parsley. That, my friends, is tomato sauce. So tonight we're gonna have this on a fresh pasta. I'll show you a plate of it when we have dinner. And I'll let you know, for this, if you wanted to make a cream of tomato soup with some of the leftovers, you can do that. Just equal parts tomato sauce to cream, or even milk, however you want to eat it. My family likes this as a tomato soup as well. So lots of times I'll make extra and then we'll have it for tomato soup another night. So I think this is easier than the stove because I did everything in one pot. It didn't have to wait 6 hours to do it. Didn't have to stew and then stew and then stew and then stew. So to me, this worked. And great sauce. Under 30 minutes. This is good. Like, comment, and subscribe. Melanie Ann Home Life.